Peace, peace, peace. What's going on? You know, rocking in, tuning in with the greatest. I appreciate if you're just joining in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm a little late, but better late than never, right? But so we're gonna get right into this, man. Want to say how everybody doing? I'm gonna give y'all a chance to get up inside here. We're gonna talk about this whole situation with the conscious community and the conscious brothers and what's been going on with brother polite, young pharaoh, you know the king of them all, Sinetta. And yeah, we're gonna dive right into it and see what's going on with this whole situation, because it seems that it's been a lot going on social media with the conscious community. And you know um for someone personally like myself, like I've alluded to several times, that I've been following several people, not really brother polite or Sinetta, but young pharaoh. He's someone that I've been watching, and it's crazy. If y'all been watching my channel, y'all see I've been posting videos, recent videos with young pharaoh. And like he just looked like he just taking a dive down. So like a lot of people thinking that it might be drugs. A lot of people think that it could be alcohol, that it could be that they trying to set them up or whatever. You know, from the outside looking in, we really don't know what it is, but it could be all those things. You know, it could be a mixture of all those things. You know, personally, I'm a little wary of these two new guys that he got hanging around him, and I want to dive deeper more into that, but I actually want to save that for a video of itself. I already made a thumbnail for it, but I'm going to talk more about these two guys, these two new guys that he got with him. I think he said that the guy name was Lou and Qua. You know, I'm going to make a video about that tomorrow, or maybe even after this live stream. You know, I want to do two separate videos, but you know, I'm willing to bet that they got a lot to do with what's going on with him, or maybe they just seizing the opportunity because they see that he's a little mentally weak, mentally fragile, and like opportunists, like snakes. You know, they're using this opportunity to, I don't know, gain fame, notoriety, make a buck or whatever. You know, young Pharaoh alluded to, like he's been boasting about how much money he's been making. And there's even a YouTuber on here. I forget the content creator name, but he's a creator who actually just make videos on about other YouTubers and how much we make here on YouTube. And this video that I'm referring to is a few years old, but back then, young Pharaoh was making, you know, over $300,000 a year, and this was like a few years ago. And he already made a video yesterday, not yesterday, but I think the day before yesterday, saying that he made $2 million in 2020 on YouTube alone, not including various other business ventures that he got going on, or scams or whatever. So, like, for him being so boastful and being so, you know, boisterous on how much money and stuff that he's making, you know, you're gonna have people trying to come around you and surround you, and uh you know, use these opportunities. You know, that's one of the reasons why I said that I don't have people around me like that. And when people try to get close to me, they realize that, like I always say, game peep game. You know, real recognize real. And I'm the type of person who recognizes when somebody's trying to get close to me for their own personal gain. And, you know, to be fair, a lot of shiesty people are clever and you would think smart or whatever. So they pick up like they pick up on things, like they pick up on weak people or whatever. So they pick up on me not knowing, or rather, they pick up on me realizing how full of shit they are. So they start going their separate ways or whatever. Like I don't really hide. I'm not one of the people who's gonna like try to let you get over on me and hide the fact that I know and just keep letting you be around me and all that stuff. No, I'm gonna call you out on it. I, I try to live less as drama as possible in my life. I'll be 40 years old in 3 years. I'm still. I look at me still relatively young, but I've been in a few accidents, so I'm not uh as healthy as I was years ago. That's why I'm not boxing right now. I'm still going through physical therapy, and I'm about to have surgery on my right hip. So, personally, myself, I just try to live stress free as possible. And for me to see someone that I like online just going through all this stuff is crazy. But like I said, I'm going to report on it. I'm going to make the news with it whether I like you or not. This is because it's crazy. It really is, and I hate to say it, but like he owns some stuff, and what makes it crazy is he just made a video talking about young pharaoh. I'm talking about. He just made a video saying that you know um how Golden Beauty was lying and everything, and he wasn't on shrooms, he wasn't doing all this stuff, and talking about the girl Jocelyn and saying how that she the police and how she brought the shrooms over and all this stuff and weed and everything. But then the next day, in a whole other video, you talking about you take shrooms and it's not illegal, it's natural, all that stuff. So it's like, which one is it? You do it or you don't. So, and when he make all these videos and he kind of contradicting himself, it's just like, all right. And then you see him wearing the same clothes every single day, and it look like he not washing up. Like I don't know if y'all any of y'all know these like classic symptoms of like paranoia or like some type of psychosis in your mind that shows that some type of mentally disorder. But like those are the signs and stuff. Like I said, like I know people and people in my family. Like I had the 302 my brother last year, and when you start talking to professionals and everything, they tell you to they ask you questions and they just to see what are you sure on the symptoms or the diagnosis. So they want to know what's going on with them and stuff, or her. So they ask you like, is this person like if they normally clean and wash up every day, have they stopped washing up? Have you noticed that stuff? Have you noticed they uh start wearing the same clothes every day, acting irrationally, abnormal, like stuff like that? And when I'm watching these videos every day, when I'm screen recording and uploading, I'm watching them. I'm like, yo, bro. Like I said, I'm just dude on the internet, just watching from afar. So I could be totally wrong. Like you can't take none of what I say for face value. But when I'm just watching it and I'm looking at it, I'm like, he's showing the classic signs of like mental disorder, and you got these people around him just leeching off of him. I don't care if it's the girl Jocelyn, the dude Qua, Lou, Boo, whoever. Like it's crazy because I was reading one like some of the comment sections on the videos that I was posting. I was reading some of the comments and somebody said like, wow, that's messed up. It's sad because he's gonna end up dead somewhere sooner or later. And But I read that comment. It was like, dang, it took the words right out of my mouth because I'm watching these videos like because we all watching. We watching in real time. Like just like I'm posting them, like recording them and posting them. Y'all watching it right along with me, and I'm looking at this stuff like dude gonna end up in a ditch somewhere. Like this is some real life. Uh, like I don't know, like one of those movies you see, like one of them hood movies when a dude is doing something and they take drugs and all that stuff, and it is crazy. And I'm watching. I'm like, then you got like people like Brother Polite. You know, he's a whole other issue because like young Pharaoh, that's one thing. He you don't really see him doing harm to other people. He really more so inflicting harm on himself, which that's bad. But then you got people like Brother Polite who using their prowess, to for predatorial gain. They um because none of this stuff is alleged, so I can't, like, I was gonna say allegedly, but it's been documented. It's all in the news. Like dude been locked up, for doing whatever to his girlfriend's daughter or whatever. And it's like, first of all, it's weird because, like, see, I got daughters. I got three. I keep saying that all the time. I got three daughters. You know, and way before I had daughters, I got a whole bunch of cousins and nieces and all that stuff. I got a big family. So I've been raised around the whole big family, being around the kids and all that stuff. I know how dirty kids are, even teenagers. I have my oldest is a teenager. And how can you physically, is if you're an adult, if you're a rational, supposed to be rational thinking, cohesive thinking person, how can a young person turn you on? Like, first of all, they're not even clean. like, I don't care how much you try to teach them to wash and all that stuff. Like, kids are not the cleanest at all. So it's like that's one thing. And two, they're just so young. Like, how does that, like, an innocent person that might be crying or whatever you're doing something to them, like, how does that turn you on, as a man or as a woman? Because you got women out here doing this stuff to children too. So, like, when you think about things like these, like when you like really break it down to the nitty gritty of it, and you start to think about the type of person that does these things, then you realize that they're a little off in the head, and they're not normal like me and you or whatever. Now, a lot of us may not be normal in the sense that we all aren't the same. Like, everyone is different. Like, I'm a professional boxer, so they say that. So the saying is, it takes a special type of person or a crazy individual to want to be a fighter for a living. The one that get beat up and all that stuff, to be punched on for a living. And I found that to be true. It does take, because everybody not built for this game. So, but that's one aspect on, individuality. We talking about what type of mindset you got on inflicting yourself on another person. Because it can be a child or it can be adult. Like, why are you trying to inflict yourself on another person against their will? Like, that makes you feel powerful, and the more you think about it, the more you break it down, the more you see, or I should say, the more you break it down and you start to pay attention. If you pay attention to the world and see how the world is and all that stuff, and pay attention to people, and how people think and how people react to certain things, and um how people like show their true colors in certain situations, then you'll understand that it's not so far fetched to believe that someone who will want to do shit like that, because you realize that people are just majority of people ain't nothing. I want to say a whole bunch of other stuff, but I be trying to refrain from cursing a lot and all that stuff because of monetization and all that stuff. But um, you realize that uh, people be like on some real weirdo type stuff, and people don't care. People are evil. That's how you can have a brother polite who can do stuff like that. And then be on the internet bragging about talking about how he gonna get off and all that stuff. Now, let's just say they go to court and all this stuff, and they do like thorough investigations. Like, we ain't nobody getting paid off and all that stuff, and everything is clean cut, legit. And you find out that this was all a sham, and he didn't do anything. Then personally, I'll eat crow. I'll make a video about it. I'll apologize to brother polite, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But all this stuff turned out to be real for face value, then like dude gotta go. And people like him gotta go. I don't care if they were quote unquote black leaders or for the community, or if they were a popular celebrity, they made a hit song, or they was in a banging movie that we liked, all that stuff. Because I think that's the problem with us, and I'm talking to us as abroad, but I want to get close to home and more of us as black people. We got a problem with over glorifying, our stars, our celebrities, our people that we hold high stature and stuff. Like, we can find out that they done some messed up stuff, and because they are who they are, we will want to not believe it, or we'll say we'll find every reason in the book to defend them and say that the allegations and all that stuff is false, and the person is just clout chasing. That's the word we use now. Everything is a clout chase, and it's crazy. Let me read this. His last video just a little while ago was extremely bad. He's going to get himself locked back up. Yeah, you know what? I was thinking the same thing, because y'all seen if you seen the video that I screen recorded and posted, he basically threatened Rashad Jamal on live. Saying that how he's going to shoot him in the face and all that stuff. Like, can you do that? Like now, I'm not no millionaire, so if I did it, the feds, the cops be at my door or whatever. Because he's a quote unquote celebrity, a YouTube personality, and he got money and stuff, that maybe he can get away with a little more than the average YouTuber or whatever. But from what I know, I don't think you can do that. I wonder if that's going to come back up to bite him behind. Like, we gonna now. I hope not. I'm gonna say that right now. I hope not. But let's make this right here. If it does, then you heard it first from me. Because that's he did threaten Rashad. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while and y'all know me, I fight. Then I'm about all about settling beefs in the ring. I'm all about putting them gloves on. So Rashad Jamal talk about he can fight or whatever. He say he know how to fight, and I'm not really one of them people who look at someone and because the way they look, you go off of that. Because like I said, I'm a fighter, so I know personally you can look real diesel, cock diesel, and real monstrous, and the person can look real scrawny or weak or real fat, blubberish, and that scrawny or fat kid will beat up that muscular kid because they got skills that muscular kid just don't got. Like it's just like fighting is not really about size or how you look; it's about skill. So but I know young Pharaoh is a kickboxer or whatever. And Rashad Jamal do look strong. Like if he catch you with a hook though, that's it's gonna hurt. So, you know, if they really had like beef, um, y'all know how I feel about it. Settle it in the ring. Just use hands, just box. Like it would be unfair if they did like some type of martial arts like kickboxing, MMA, and he's not Rashad Jamal. He's not like equipped to do that. But everybody can use their hands or whatever. So just put on the gloves, box, do on some Tyron Woodley, Jake Paul type stuff. Get in the ring and see who win. Like that too. And shoot, same thing with Brother Polite. Brother Polite, he said a few days ago that he was gonna personally be petty and get all the YouTubers and everybody making videos about him, get him sued, get him canceled, whatever. He can do the same thing. He can tell everybody, tell all the guys that was on YouTube anyway, making videos about him to line it up, and get in the ring by one. So, but the king of them, Sanetta, Sanetta, he's kind of like the father of that generation with the young pharaohs and the brother polites and all of them. Like he gave them like a platform and like put a lot of those guys on. I remember when a lot of those guys started coming on in early 2010s and stuff on YouTube. It's like start doing lectures and all that stuff, and I was hearing a lot of people was talking about Sanetta, giving them shout outs way before I even know who Sanetta was. And when all this stuff started coming out with Brother Polite, I was seeing videos with Sanetta, kind of like defending him and all that stuff. And it's like, well, you heard it was rumors and allegations that Sanetta, he was like on coke or crack or whatever back in the day doing that stuff, and he was into that pedophile type stuff too, allegedly. So and his mentor was into that stuff, Sanetta's mentor. So it's like it passes on down. And when you think about the history of those guys, because like I said, they're all connected. They're all in the same like school district, if you will, just different classes, just different school years, like class of 2002, class of 89, class of that, just they all alumni from the same school, just different years they graduated. So they pretty much all got the same type of philosophies, if you ask me. So you would kind of hear them def- defending one another, even if they try to make it sound like they're not, or try to sound like they're being neutral or not really saying that it's going to come off as a defense. Good day. How you feel? Good day, bro. They fell a long time ago. Senators on one break in Harlem. Senator don't, Senator don't own one brick in Harlem, huh? I mean, that might be true. I don't know. I can't really I can't say that for sure. I can't say if it's true or not. But what I can say is that as far as all this stuff goes, as far as this quote unquote pedophile type stuff, like, and you know what's so funny? You bring it back to Young Pharaoh, but like I said, I've been watching Young Pharaoh. You know, he's one of the people that I've been watching on as far as like learning things and it's whether it be history, politics, you know, African history, Egyptian history, like stuff like that, and just like controversial stuff. And as y'all all know, one of the main reasons why Young Pharaoh's main page that was called Young Pharaoh got deleted is because all the stuff that he was talking about, like last year, like he was one of the people who was supporting Trump and not really caring about the title of his videos, the thumbnails. Like he would say, if he think that you shady, he will put it in the thumbnail and say it. He didn't care what type of power or elite class you were, or whatever. That was one of the things I liked uh about him. And he always talk about, even now he still talk about the children. The children is this, and saving the children and the pedophiles and all that stuff. And the irony of it, the whole point of this whole little rant is, I find it ironic that your teacher and your classmates, your peers are, the same exact people that you talk about, you trying to bring down, that you talk about, that you're not associated with, and you don't want people from out in nation or out in university being associated with and all that stuff. But you know, if y'all seen, I've been posting a lot of videos and stuff about Young Pharaoh, and maybe I missed it because I do so much, but I haven't seen one video yet of him really talking about in deep analysis on, Brother Polight, or, Sinetta, or all these people. He mentioned a little bit about the beef with General Salt and Seti, but it wasn't really nothing. He didn't say anything about these guys. So it's like I said, like they live by the bro code, and you gotta call these dudes out. Like, we gotta have accountability, and it kind of goes on the line of me talking about, accountability on both sides, because you know my channel, the content on my channel, it varies from different topics and everything. But I tell y'all all the time that I'm in the space of the manosphere. I'm in the space of the red pill community, whatever you want to call it, whatever. And a lot of people like to view us as, woman hating, misogynist, and all that stuff. And they say that we don't hold men accountable, and we just talk trash about women and all that stuff. But we gotta hold. If y'all see what I'm doing right now, we gotta hold these dudes accountable too. Because personally, I don't care what anybody else in the manosphere think. I don't even care if they're in the manosphere or not. I don't care what anybody else think. It's not really about man or woman. I keep saying that all the time. It's not about man or woman. It's about right or wrong. It's about fair is fair. Um, if you're evil, you're evil. If you're good, you're good. No one is a saint. So I try not to look at people like we perfect, because I know in some shape or form all of us got some type of messed up stuff with us. So, I just try to look at everything as not black and white as much, but black, white with that slither of gray in the middle, because I know it's there. I don't want to be oblivious to it, and just try to take the good with the good and the bad with the bad. I think, especially depend on who you are, depend on your stature in your life, your social status, that's the best you can hope for, because you got to work what you got. You got to work what you got. If you're wealthy, if you're like a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, like one of them type of people, then maybe you're one of them people who can afford to live the type of life, or live in a bubble, live in a dream, because you can afford to escape. You can just pay. You can pay for your false sense of peace. You just pay for everything as far as that. Pay to get out, pay for your isolation, pay for the service and all that stuff. But if you're someone like me, or people like you, I'm assuming because you're watching. I don't want to presume, but then you got to take it. You got to take it like how you can get it, until that day comes where you can maybe go in that bubble yourself. So I don't know. Let me read some of these comments. I learned a lot from young Pharaoh. Watching him self-destruct is heartbreaking. I didn't agree 100%, but I supported this young brother. Yeah, that's me too. Same thing. Like when I tell y'all, I like a lot of these people, or support these people, or whatever. I never support them 100%. I make videos about Kevin Samuels. I support Kevin Samuels. Do I agree with everything he say? F no. A lot of stuff I think he wrong about, or whatever. But the overall message is what I care about. I really don't be caring about deliveries, or um what certain individuals might do or say, or whatever, because it's not about that. It's about the message. Like I give you an analogy. Like some people say, either you let one person die, you sacrifice the greater good for millions. Like stuff like that. That might be immorally wrong, but it is what it is. Like that's the reality of life. But yeah, same thing. I learned a lot from young Pharaoh. I didn't agree with everything. I still don't agree with everything that he said that I learned from, but just the same, I've learned a lot, and I did agree with some of the things that he said, and some of the things that he's done. And like what you said, Chi-Town, um, watching him self destruct was just like I said, we watching it. We all watching this in real time, and we just like looking like like that's how I'm really like sometimes when I'm screen recording on videos before I upload them. I'm literally sitting there, and I don't know if you can probably hear me in the background if you just like probably just like really be quiet and don't pay attention to what he's saying. It's like try to listen to the background. You might hear me sometimes like this dude tripping, or like oh my god, like because I'm watching this stuff and it's like it was all good a week ago. Like what happened like 2 months ago? like how that the switch been flipped that drastically that fast is crazy. And like I said, he got demons around him, and he talked all about the spirit realm and spiritual realms and energies and vibes and all that stuff. So in one sense, it boggles me that he can't see that he got demonic entities around me. I mean, around him. But in another sense, I can understand, because if he is under the influence, or if he is, not mentally there, then it don't matter how, you know, smart you are or self-aware you're supposed to be or whatever. Like if your mind is fragile, you're mentally weak, then um, you can be easily influenced and manipulated and fooled. So yeah, it's scary when I watch that stuff. And Like I swear, like I'm trying to save talking about those two guys for a separate video because, like I said, I already made the thumbnail, already got the title of the video. Like I just want to talk about those two guys by themselves in a separate video. But oh my god, like, like, all right, just a little bit. Like, do y'all not see how they looking at him? Especially the one who always got his shirt off. The dude he said Lou, not the dude Qua, but the first one with the always got his shirt off and shit, but his nipples all hard. No pause, no homo. But like, do y'all peep every time young Pharaoh talking? He just like this, just like, and he just watching them. He just like this, and I don't know where y'all from who watching this. Like, I don't know how street smart you are, or or how because it's not really necessary about street smarts, because you ain't even necessarily got to be from the street. So let me refrain from that. But like how much you pick up on game. But if you pick up on stuff. And when I'm watching it, he literally just watching him like I'm gonna get him or or he or he probably just saying his head like damn he don't even see it. Like it's hard. Like I'm still new to all this talking stuff, so sometimes I get so excited that it's hard for me to put in words what I'm trying to say. But what's like what my man Deontay Wilder said. What's understood don't have to be explained. Like if you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like my man looking at him plotting, like he looking at him like Bishop off Juice. Like he looking at him like the boy off Belly who was eating a banana, watching DMX and Nas riding down the street. You get what I'm saying? He watching him like the boy Teddy Bruckshot was watching Ziggy Marley on the movie Shadows. Or like how Beans is watching like Dame Dash and all of them on the movie State Property, like he plotting on them, man. Like it's not funny, but it's funny in the sense that like I see this and I read some of the comments and I see a lot of y'all see it too. Like y'all see this. Like we see it. We like I said, we all watching this together in real time. And it's sad because it's like you want to reach out and help the brother. Like I want to help the young brother. You know what I'm saying? Like I do. Like for one, I want to grip him up and smack upside his head. Like you playing yourself, man. Like people out here looking up to you. Like people, like really look up to you. Like these guys saying something. They Iron Nation University subscribers, members, and all that stuff, which they probably were. Like we not gonna take that away from them. They probably were watching him, and that's probably how they learned how to manipulate him. They just watching him, and they saying that he deteriorating because they saying that he beefing with, Rashad Jamal and Golden Beauty and whomever, and they probably like using these opportunities. And they see that he reaching out for help because he be online all the time, talking about how nobody in this community like him, how he did everything for the black community, and how the black community turned their back on him. Like I said, we all watch this stuff. So you got opportunists come, they're like snakes in the garden, man. And it's crazy that like if you feel like you seeing something about to go down, but you can't do nothing about it. Like I don't get it. But I could be wrong. Like this is all speculation. Like I said, I'm just a dude on YouTube watching from afar. I can be totally wrong. Like you can take all this from a grain of salt. I'm just saying from what I know from experience, from what I've seen uh, growing up, personally, and just you know my surroundings, my circumference, or whatever. But this is this is all speculation. It can be totally 100% false. Those dudes can be 100% supporters. They can be for the cause. They can probably be good new security team, whatever. Because I think he's saying that they like he said, the guy Lou, that's his major, and the dude Qua is his Sarge Lieutenant. I forget what he said what Qua was, but you know, they can be official. They can be legit. You know, maybe we just over exaggerate. Maybe I'm just over exaggerating, but I ain't over exaggerating. I ain't. This ain't no over exaggeration. We know what it is. So, let me see one of these. The conscious community didn't fall. It's the celebrity seeking fame, seeking conscious community is falling. Yeah, uh, I will agree with that. I think so. Yeah, Chinatown says she agree with you too, Marcus Russell. Yeah, I think so. That's even the guy recording said he was tripping on one of the videos, but YP didn't even catch it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you ain't peep that stuff. Like I got recordings and I should show it right now, but like I said, I ain't gonna dive really into it because I'm gonna say that for another. I'm gonna save it for tomorrow because I'm looking at the time and everything, and I am tired. So, and I want that video to be a little lengthy, so I'm gonna do it tomorrow. But we gonna do a deep uh dive analysis on Otten Nation University newest members Lou and Qua because I think that they're the two new snakes in the gardens, plotting to set him up. Like he was saying that he blamed first he blamed the girl Jocelyn, for stealing his jewelry. He don't know who stole his jewelry. Then he apologized to Jocelyn publicly and saying that she can come over, which is crazy because, first he talking about that she, drugging him and she the one who gave him the shrooms and sold him the weed and stuff, and uh, he not doing it, and that's not what he do. But then in the next moment, he calling her and saying that he love you when he shooting a shot at it and all that stuff. And then he like, "What's up?" And she kind of hesitated, so he immediately follow up like, "Well, you ain't got to answer right now," which was smart because he peeped just like I peeped that she hesitated, and it kind of sounded like she wasn't going to say yeah right now because he publicly dissed her on the internet, which she probably would have been fooled to say yes anyway. So, um, but just watching all this stuff is just it is crazy. Like he would like the dude was just like, and someone said that in the comment section earlier. Like he was just doing PowerPoint lectures, and all that stuff. And now this, I was on Golden Beauty page, and just a few months ago, she doing pranks on him, like making him drink breast milk, and they playing with kids and all that stuff, and at pool parties, and now it's just drama after drama after drama. Each time I come on here, and I make this disclaimer too. It's content, to be fair, it is content. So, but it's messed up that it comes at the expense of dignity towards our black brothers and sisters. Because if I gotta be perfectly honest, like I said, it's content. So I'm gonna keep recording it because it is content. It helps my channel. But if I can record something else that gets the same type of attention, that don't have to exploit our brothers and sisters and all that stuff, that show them in a bad light, I would much rather happily do that. Because at the end of the day, it's still melanated, it's still black, it's still our brothers and sisters. And it's sad that, like I said, I was just watching this dude learning, like getting ideas, and him opening my eyes to stuff. And now when I'm watching them, it's like I'm watching somebody totally different. So read this. He's Lizzo Flute said he's on something, and the infiltration he's speaking of are the people who are surrounding him. They gave him something he can't rarely come back from. Rarely come back from. You think that? Because you know what's so crazy? I was thinking the same thing. Like, now I'm looking at these dudes, and the dude Lou, he looked real grimy, but he looked dumb. He looked like he not educated. Now, Qua, the other hand, the other boy who wearing the hats and stuff and keeps smiling, he the one who looks sneaky, because he looked like he's trying to play like this Lou. He just looked like he just happy to be there. He just dumb, and he just got the lurch dumb face, like because every time young Pharaoh asks him a question and point the camera to him, like, yeah, ain't that right? It is like Lou, like he be eating like he stuck eating a bone, like a piece of chicken, and he just be like, but but the other guy, Qua, um, he be like, he's somebody you really gotta watch, because he more sneakier, because he like trying, he trying his part as far as like trying to get in close with Pharaoh. He one of them people who want to get in close with you, like a sneaky type vibe person. That's the vibe I get from him. People want to talk about energies and vibes. I'm not really one of them people who talk about that stuff, but if we want to go there, I'll play devil's advocate. I get the energy and the vibe from him as he the one really trying to play his part. When Pharaoh asks some questions, he attempt to try to give deep thought into the answer, into the response, although it may not be still sounding, you know, smart or whatever, but you can see that he's trying. So those are the type of people that you kind of want to keep a close eye on, because they're the ones who try to get real close to know every little secret. And uh I'm just looking at these guys like, yeah, they really going they gonna set my man up. Now, I'm not advocate. I don't really advocate for families breaking up, but and I don't advocate for, parents not being around their children. I think parents should, if they had a choice, should be around their children or whatever. But if you watch my live stream, I think it was last night or the night before last, I talk about not taking chances, and I talk about safety, and more so safety for children. So if we're saying that, if because a lot of, I read the comments, and I see the videos, and a lot of people are in agreement that they feel as though something is wrong, something is off with young Pharaoh, at least, even if you don't necessarily say that he's crazy or whatever, you see that something is off. He's not. your typical young pharaoh. Let's just say it that way. Well, if we're in agreement of that, then I believe that it's a good thing that him and Golden Beauty is not, you know, living in the same house with each other, and the kids is not there with him, because and at the same fact that he got these strangers in the house, because you don't know these dudes like that. You don't know if these dudes looking at your children sideways or whatever. Like, you gotta think about these things. Like I said, like, you can't. I don't take no chances at all. I don't care if you was my best friend from the sandbox. Like I said, I have daughters, and I know how people are. And it's this saying that somebody told me years ago that I would never forget. It said this: a person can be the coolest, most loyalist, and righteous person until you get him or her in that right situation or in that wrong situation. So basically saying that a man or a woman can be your friend for years. Y'all can know each other and all that stuff and doing everything. But you suddenly leave him alone with your girlfriend or something, or your wife, or maybe he came around when your children's around or something like that, or she was naked asleep, something like that. Like, all it takes is for one moment for a person to reveal who they really are. So why take that chance? Like, if you know anything about me, I repeat in these videos and stuff, when I talk about different things, the main points, I'm always repeating myself because it's all the same. You never take chances. I'm one of the people who try not to ever take chances on certain situations. You take chances, you take risks on certain things. Like, if you're trying to develop yourself as a career or something like that, maybe you're working somewhere, but you want to take a new business venture or something like that. Might got to move, or maybe you got to quit your 9 to 5 job because you want to start a business. All right, you take chances. But we're talking about, you. Like I said, what's understood don't got to be explained. You know what we're talking about. And those type of situations, you never take chances if you're smart. So read some of this. When you beef with another person instead of agreeing to disagree, you already lost. Can't waste precious energy on negativity. Yeah, and you know what's so crazy? I see that a lot on YouTube. I see that a lot now. Um, I've been getting a lot of stick on my videos. My past videos, maybe like a month or so ago, maybe like from like a month or so ago, from probably like a month prior to that. It's getting a lot of stick on my videos, probably from like a lot of the content that I was creating and stuff, and um, people disagreeing with me, and it's like, we can agree to disagree. Like, so we gotta live. So we have to have a herd mentality. Like, that's my question. So we all have to agree. We all have to have the same thought. So so basically, we're robots then, because that's what it seemed like society wants us to have. Like, it's like, if you don't agree with the bulk, you're exiled, you're cast out, and it's like, so when does individuality come into play? When does personalization come into play? Like, so we all have to be the same thing. So this is all school. We all have to wear the same uniform. There is no you can wear the khakis and pants, but um you're not allowed to wear the Jordans. You gotta put the shoes on too. You can't be different. And The messed up part about this is, especially here in America, it's like I thought this was the land of the free. You know, if y'all notice, more and more of our you know what is being you know what like this is it's not really free anymore. It's something else. And if you think it's free and you try to do and say what you want, then it's going to cost you. So it's like it's not really free. It's something that you got to pay for, and you might got to pay for it with your life and or finances and your career and all that stuff. So um it's a thin line that we gotta tread nowadays. I'm looking at the world and I see how so many narratives, how so many agendas have just been being thrown at us, just this way and that way, and they like you and me personally. I'm trying to dodge everything. I'm trying to slip punches and catch you with an uppercut or whatever. That something like that, when it's like it's so hard. You get tired or whatever. You trying to pivot and move out the way and everything, but it's so much stuff going on in the world. It's like, man, and I say this all the time. I'm living in the time where I can't relate and I don't belong. Me and my uncle was just talking about this. Was it Saturday? Saturday. We just had a conversation about this Saturday. We said that, and it's so funny because he said the exact same thing that I said. We was talking about this generation, and he said I don't fit in, and he said, what he said, the crazy part about it is I tried to, but it ain't work. And I said, bro, the same thing, like 'cause at some point, like, because you realize you don't fit in, but you get through you go through so much. It's like sometimes it wears you out and breaks you down. You like, and sometimes it's like, all right, maybe I shouldn't go against the grain. Maybe I should just follow the herd and just maybe it might make life a little easy. Sometimes you might just give in, you know, and or try to give in. But if you're someone like me, and obviously someone like my uncle Munchie, and attempt to try to cave in and follow the herd mentality, you you realize that that's even worse, and you'll even be even more miserable, and your life don't feel fulfilled. You feel real empty inside. So it's like damn if you do, damn if you don't, right? So uh they force you to fit. They force you into a box. It's a paradox. They call mind block. That's why most can never move forward in their spiritual journey. We have accepted their way of living. Yeah, yeah, and that's right. Don't like for example, you hear this is the new norm. Yeah, well, it's the new norm. Yeah, we got to wear the mask, but it's the new norm. Yeah, we got to wear 6 feet. We got to stay 6 feet apart, but it's the new norm. Yeah, such and such caught the Delta variant, but it's the new norm. Like, no, I'm not buying it. I tell people you can take that back to the store. I ain't buying that. Like, mm-mm. This is not the new norm, not at all. Um, but people fall for it all the time, and I think people are the one messing up this world. People are, not the person, not the individual. The individual can think for him or herself. The individual can look outside the box and step outside themselves and see things in a whole different perspective. If things not going, accordingly, and maybe try to find another solution to something better. The individual, the person, they can do these things. But people, when you get people together, that's when you get a mob. When you get people together, that's when it gets rowdy. That's when the rioting and looting comes along, because people don't think rationally. People come together, it's just nothing but negative energy, feeding off each other. There's no one cohesive thought. It's just a whole bunch of just hate and just vengeful stuff. So you form, the riot, the mob. That's why I don't like the people. That's why I don't like people. That's why if you read the Bible and stuff, when you read, shoot, a lot of the different types of books, the Quran, all that stuff, it tells you about how the person is the one who thinks and smart, and how people can be easily manipulated because people don't think. But what do I know? I'm just somebody on YouTube, right? My neighbor said her brother caught COVID, and when they asked which one, the hospital told them they don't know, and they have no way to tell. There is no variant. It's all a game. Yeah, I my channel got, you know, way back before I got monetized and all that stuff. Like when I was trying to get monetized, I was getting them community guideline strikes, because them things are real. You know, I've talked about this on several of my past videos. Even like on my Facebook page, I had I had my original Facebook page I had since like 2008, 2009 when I first joined Facebook, and it just got deleted. I think in January of this year or December last year, and I had to start all over and make backup pages. And I was mad because I had videos and like pictures of like from my daughters and all that stuff when they was kids and all that I don't have anymore. Um, and they disabled my channel because I was talking about this type of stuff. Before I got monetized here on YouTube, I got those guideline strikes because I was talking about different things. So I try to tread lightly when it comes to that stuff on here. And when you become see, I'm reading these and I see the names. See, but I'm not necessarily sure if you're a content creator here on YouTube or not. Like if you just got a channel where you watch videos, or if you actually create content yourself. But when you create content yourself on here, you understand, especially when you get those strikes and stuff, when you start learning the ins and outs, you start understanding that you gotta tread lightly. Because like I said, it's not free, it's very costly. So we just gonna leave it like that. But I agree with you, Marcus. I totally agree with you. No, it's all good. I kind of started it off talking about it, but um, yeah, they be on their BS, so you gotta tread lightly. So for those who's watching, and you probably haven't made videos yet, or you're thinking about it, or maybe you made videos but you haven't came across that particular issue yet, just know this: You cannot say or do anything that you want to do on these platforms. There are community guidelines, and you must follow them to a T. Now, there are ways, there are little sneaky little ways if you're clever enough to get around certain things. I know I do sometimes, but it's not really worth it, you know. Uh, then you gotta keep constantly make backup channels. Like even on here, I got several backup channels. I got one same title as this, just with 2.0. It's Let's Talk Trending Hot Topics 2.0 by N Lynch. So y'all can go over there and subscribe to that channel too. Um, I upload over there. I don't upload as much as I do over here, but I do upload over there. And I have several other channels that's not really related to the topics of this channel, just different type of YouTube content on different categories here on YouTube. So I don't get the same type of algorithm feed. But back to the topic at hand. These guys gotta be they gotta be exposed. They gotta be if you know someone that knows something, if you're someone that have some type of content, that might have some type of information, then about anything, about and I don't care if it's your favorite celebrity, your favorite basketball player, your music player, whatever, like get it out there, get the information out there, get people starting to research this and start saying something. I think the more we start speaking up, the less these people can get away with stuff. And that don't even necessarily go with like this situation as far as this category, as far as like molestation. That goes for crime, drugs, like all that stuff, like murder in the inner city. Like it's crazy how we can be mad at a young pharaoh or a brother polite and all that stuff, but yet we're not mad at the person who shot the dude on the block because he a big time drug dealer or whatever, or because his name buzzing in the hood. Like that's stupid. I think that is so dumb. Like so we can be mad at like this is a big one. This is a big one for me. And I might get a lot of hate for this, but I don't care. We can be mad at Hassan Campbell for doing the things that he do online, but yet we're defending um our neighborhood stick up kids or drug dealers, people that we know who've done people wrong or done wrong stuff, but we were mad at somebody here on YouTube. Like when I look at this stuff, I say people are so backwards. Like people live their lives like priorities are all the way backwards when I pay attention to stuff, and I'm like, most of the people don't really pay attention to the grand scheme of things. They worrying about the here and now. The here and now is important, but I think the tomorrow is what counts. You know, you can't keep living your life in the present. You gotta think about the future. You got to think about the long haul. You can't live your life fast. Life is not always a sprint. Like it's a marathon, and you're either going to run up. You're either going to run down the block real fast and burn yourself out, or you're going to run around the block at a slow pace 10 times. That's that's pretty much it. If the mass work while the 6 feet. If the 6 feet work while the mask, if they both work while the vaccine, and if the vaccine is safe while the manufacturer doesn't have liability. That's why we need super paid aesthetics to create their streaming app, so we can be suppressed. Yeah, both good, both good topics. I hear you. I say that stuff all the time. You know, uh it's a sham. People, forgive me, the YouTube gods. It's a sham. I mean, it just is what it is. And Marcus Russell, yeah, I totally agree. And but the bad part about that is, like, whomever controls the streaming app will always control the voice. Like, so that's always going to be the issue, because if someone has control of it, then they might, like, let's just say we get someone who allows us to have an open free voice. Then it's a new platform, it's new or whatever. Then more millions and millions of people, probably even billions of people, join, because now it's something new, it's fresh, and people can see that, oh, it's not like this, it's not like that. We can do whatever we want, we can say whatever we want. So come on, join. So it's going to gain some attraction. Don't you know the news and everything going to pick up on it? Don't you know the mainstream media, then the politics and everything, they're going to start looking into it and all that stuff. Then they're going to have, you know, stipulations on like it's going to be mandated by the government, because companies can have things what they want, but once the government come in, it don't matter if you're a multi-billion-dollar company or not. Once the government come in, you have to obey. So if they say, well, we don't think that your platform should be doing this or allowing people to say this, because we believe that, and so doing this, that it is causing this type of reaction, or whatever type of bull crap they come up with, then so let it be written, so let it be done. And that's what's going to happen. So and I bring that up because it already happened. Like, this is what's been happening with, like, that was the whole point of Facebook. If you really want to know, that was the whole point of YouTube and all that stuff. Like, that was the sole purpose in the beginning and stuff. Like, this stuff is happening, and then once they become infiltrated, and the CEOs and COOs become, multi-billionaires and Silicon Valley trillionaires and all that stuff, tech moguls, then they up there in the 1%. And then now they're up there in the elite class now. And once you join them, you can't be catering to us, because now you're going to get expelled from them. And the way they expel you up there is, you get what I'm saying? And they grimy with it. So, you know, so we just gotta, pay attention to these things. But I don't know. What y'all think? Let me know. Do you think that do you think that shoot, one, let me ask. Do y'all, how many of y'all, by show of hands, how many of y'all think that these two new guys that's hanging around young Pharaoh, this Lou and Qua, how many of y'all think that they're no good for him? Like, if you think that they're cool for them, say, right, they're cool for them. If you think that they're no good for them, then no good. let me know because uh I think anybody in their right mind would say that they're no good. Yeah, Shot Town. Right. Exactly. They're no good. Not at all. And if young Pharaoh was in his if he was in the state of mind he was this time last year, then I think that he would easily pick up on that. The- You know, let's take young Pharaoh out of the situation for a second because how we all on the internet, like I said, we all watching this in real time, seeing it. Why isn't Golden Beauty saying anything about it? Like, all right, granted, her and young Pharaoh are beefing, going through whatever they're going through, but she's still the father of their children. Now, someone let me know in the comment section because I could be wrong. Maybe she said something about it and I just haven't seen it yet. But why isn't she? Because if I was her and she like if y'all see she clearly still got feelings for Pharaoh and it seems like she still want to be there just on different terms. So if that's the case, if I was her, I'll be doing anything in my power to get my man help and get these devils, these demons away from my man because it's destroying our family. She got a voice. She got over 20,000 people on YouTube alone. I don't know about her Instagram and all that stuff, but she got over 20,000 subscribers. She can instead of just keep making videos talking about what's happening with Pharaoh and all that stuff, she could be doing this stuff too. Like that's what I'm thinking. Like why is there anyone else? Not even just Golden Beauty, but his friends. He got. I've seen him several times with certain people of his friends that he called his friends. That he had on his platform doing like collaborations with and all that stuff. Where are these guys at? Why are these guys not making videos or reaching out or saying anything talking about this situation and saying that young Pharaoh needs help and needs to get these people away from him and all that stuff? Like I'm not saying any of this stuff. It's like people were just wanting this, like one of you just said in the comments. It's like he's been infiltrated and they just want to see him self destruct. This is beyond me. This is crazy. They are probably plants by the global elites. Yeah, they place them two seeds to grow and take them out. I swear I've been thinking that, Marcus. She might be manipulated already. You think so? You think Golden Beauty is manipulated? Do you think that Golden Beauty might be part of the the takedown of young Pharaoh? Do y'all think that she could be part of it? Let me know in the comment section. I believe she's honestly trying to help. I just think he's just out of control. I think she's trying to protect him and help him, but she can't save him from himself. So if she's trying to help, then she's all right. Look, I'll play devil's advocate with you, and I'll let's say if she is trying to help, she's doing a piss poor job of it. Like so. Answer me this, Shot Town. In all honesty, if you were Golden Beauty, how would you help young Pharaoh? Don't say what she would do. I'm saying you personally. What would you do to help that young man? Like, please let me know because maybe because like my videos and stuff they get some steam or whatever. I got a few thousand subscribers or whatever. Um, My live streams don't be having hundreds and thousands at the time I post them, but after they're posted, then that's when the people come. So they might catch this video. So she might actually watch this video and see the comments. So help her out, and maybe she might read your comment and learn from your example. So please let us know what you would do to help this young man out, because she's not helping at all and she needed. So, he said I would call for psychiatric help, honestly. I've, so we here with it then. we I would do the same thing. So she's not doing that. So Golden Beauty, if you're watching this, if anyone watch, because I know my people who follow Young Pharaoh watch these videos. So you our nation supporters or anybody supporting Golden Beauty or whatever, Golden Beauty, if you watching this, get Young Pharaoh some psychiatric help. Young Pharaoh, if you watching this, um instead of you just talking to spiritual healers while you're in the bath and stuff, uh like seek professional help from a licensed psychologist, like something like that. I think that we get so caught up in our own selves, especially us as black people. We don't want people all up in our heads and stuff, which is I totally get that, because I'm the same way. Like I ain't exempt, but shoot, if it becomes, if I ever become in a situation where it appears to be with Young Pharaoh, then I will hope and pray that someone will push and pull me to the damn hospital and get me help, because I probably not going to go, just like he not going to go, and just like my brother didn't want to go, because I probably, if it gets to that point, I probably feel like I'm okay and it's not me, it's y'all. So if that's the case, pull me there. Now it might take a little more effort than y'all, because I know how to fight. So if you try to pull me, I'm gonna try to knock you out. So yeah, I mean, but if it's about 6 or 7 of y'all, you probably you got a good chance, and y'all take me down and take me to the hospital. So, um, but good evening, Nikki. Welcome to the stream. I'm just saying that's scary. I know she doesn't want him locked back up in the system. He can't go back there. Yeah, and that's a struggle that and that's something that we deal with, especially as black people, and especially as you ain't even gotta be black, but just especially as someone who just emotionally care for someone. Like you don't want to see them locked up, because a lot of times when we call for help, that help usually turn into the police and getting them into the system and all that stuff. So, but I made a video about this a few months ago, and I talked about how me and my mom talked about, like, my little brother that I said that's in the hospital, that I mean that I got 302 last year. Well, he got arrested. If you Some of y'all probably already know, some of you don't. Um, and one of my other brothers is locked up too. He's been locked up for like the last 3.5 years. Like I said, like my peoples be going through it. I'm just like the nicest one out of my peoples. But um I say that to say the type of lifestyles that my brothers lived out here in the streets. Me and my mom have this discussion, It's sad to say, but if you know someone or if you may live this life yourself, then maybe you might understand what I'm about to say. Sometimes a person can live so much a rough life or a scary life out here in the streets that you rather have them being locked up. You rather have them being in jail because they'll end up just getting killed out here. So you'll rather see them in jail because at least you know they're safe. And it's like I said, it's a crazy thing to say. But for those who know people who live in such bad environments who probably done so much bad stuff in life and so you understand you'll know. Like my brothers, they better off in jail. Cause if they not locked up, then they'll be dead. Like my one brother who been locked up for years, all his friends are dead. It used to be a time when they were all locked. You can say they were all locked up, or some of them died. Well, no, all of them are dead. He's alive because he's been in jail for the last 3.5 years. So I'm not necessarily saying that that's young Pharaoh, but if calling for help, if getting them locked, not necessarily getting them locked up, but maybe locking them in a psychiatric ward, if that's what it takes for him to like really get some type of mental stability, then do it. I don't forget all that pride, forget that ego, all that stuff. No, you need help. Do it. So this might where we disagree at, and that's fine. That's totally okay. I just feel like that's just how I feel. Oh. See, Nikki says, I don't know if he needs prayer, an exorcist, or an intervention at this point. I said the same thing. He need an intervention. He really do. He need an intervention of everybody who loves and care from what's his name, real name Marshall, or something like that. Whoever know him by his real names, that's who he need with him because we know him as Young Pharaoh. We know his stage name. He need people who know him on a personal level, who watched him grow up. Stuff like that to give him an intervention to help him because what he got right now is just a bunch of yes men, and that ain't helping at all. Randy says, "Yeah, I noticed something ain't right about Young Pharaoh." Yeah, Randy. Uh, yeah, he way off, and he admitted himself that he's taking shrooms and he's smoking weed, and he said that he never done that stuff before. And like I said in videos yesterday, that when you take drugs for the first time, like alcohol and drugs have different effects on different people, and depending on that person, it can affect you totally different than it does someone else. And you can be someone who can be totally surprised at how it can totally affect someone because you're looking at it like, well, damn, it didn't do that to me. But you got to think that person is not built like you. We're all built differently. And we might assume because uh, that it was okay with us, that it should be okay with them. But the reality of it is that it's not. And it probably affected him differently. So, yeah, yeah, Shot Town. Yeah, it's, but you get it though. You say you understand, so right. Lorraine said he'd rather blame his choices on his woman and community, and you notice that he does that a lot, right? Um, he always talk about how the black community done him wrong, how his community done him wrong, and this and that, and it's like, bro, you got to start taking some accountability on your own part. They might have done you wrong. Let's say they done you wrong, but now you're doing wrong. You don't gotta feed into it, or you don't gotta become that person that they're calling you or whatever. Like, you don't gotta, because a lot of people be like, all right, they want to call me this, they want to do that, then I'm going to be like that. Like, it's like they get that temper tantrum like children. They're like, all right, well, if you're going to say I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do it anyway. No, fight it, go against it. That's how you shut people up. That's how you make the other people look who's going against you look stupid. But his name is Young Pharaoh because he's young. You know, um, he's young. He a young man, and he got to develop. Now, prayerfully, he can grow so he can develop. But when you got access to the type of money he got now, and you got yes men, and got access to the drugs and all that stuff that he can obtain now because of his finances, then a lot of times they don't live long enough to be able to learn from their mistakes, sadly. And I'm just hoping that it's not going to be the case with him. I'm hoping that he can be the one who can eventually grow and learn from this. They're not safe in jail if they are not willing to change. Jail will make it worse sometimes because they have to go harder to survive in prison than in the streets. Uh yeah, that can be true, but it's a catch 22 because it could also be different too. Because you might be talking about, like, for like my little brief moment when I was locked up. Like, I didn't go upstate and all that stuff. I was in jail up State Road in Philadelphia, up CFCF. So it was a little different. And my little brother who been locked up for like 3 years now, 4 year almost 4 years. He upstate, he in the state pen, and he tell me how different it is in state pen than it is, just in city jail, city prison, and all that stuff. And a lot of times, people in state, uh, they tend to chill because they don't want to add more to their sentence. You know, so this is not everywhere, but a lot of times. So it can be a catch 22. He can either be worse in there, or he can be it can be better. But however way it goes, that option, having that option is better than the options that he got just being out here in the street. And that goes for someone like my brothers, or someone who might be worse than them. You got the option of at least living, inside there, um, versus getting set up or shot something out here. Hmm. Lorraine said he seems like he doesn't believe in Yah. Yeah, it's saying that way, right? It's saying like he said he's gone. Right. Nikki Blaine said, was it the money or the drugs that started his downfall? Uh Shoot, I honestly don't know. Which one was it? I really don't know. Maybe, like, he came from Buffalo, New York. He came from humble beginnings, like a lot of us. So when you go from that to being a multimillionaire, you know, they say, money makes who you really are come out. Maybe we just seeing who he really was. So Lorraine says, look in his eyes, the spirit is far, far off. Yes, Lorraine. I was saying the same thing. Like, and that's what I mean. Like, because it's not necessarily about what he's saying and doing. Like, I'm looking at him. I'm watching his eyes. Like, I'm looking through this man, and he looks gone. Like the boy is gone. Like the young pharaoh that we know, that we knew, who was, riding with Trump and talking about Hillary and everybody. That boy is gone. I don't know who this dude is right now. Like, I'm gonna make a video about that too because someone say, like, I've been seeing in the comment section, like, he's a clone. Like, now let me know that. Do y'all think that he a clone? So like now, if y'all gonna laugh, just know cloning does exist. I'm not talking about human beings. I'm talking about animals. Like, you remember the sheep Dolly? That was like 1990. And now, if you actually pay attention to certain food products, a lot of us are eating cloned fish, and we don't even pay attention to it. So cloning does exist. Now, when you get into genetically cloning human beings, that stuff is supposed to be illegal, but that's what they say. My family and I have fought the fight to save him for years, to no rescue. In the end, just tears and pain from my mother. So we can just pray. I've seen that look several times before, even with my own brother. Determination not to listen to any kind of sound instructions. So we can just Lorraine, you saying everything right, sweetheart. You definitely are. Like, you hitting everything right on the button because this is crazy. I know it's definitely spiritual war going on with him, regardless what we think it is. He is not navigating his own soul anymore. Chi-Town, yes. He definitely going through some a spiritual battle, which he is losing. He losing big time, and he need prayer. Like, I post these videos about him all the time, but I still pray. Even the people I don't mess with. To be honest with y'all, like, I try to pray for all of us because at the end of the day, it's not that deep. I don't got no real deep hate towards people like that because you're not gonna mess up my peace for me to get you to, for me to get me to hate you that much. Only, like, really one person got me to that point, which is my kid's mom, and I'm not even like that with her no more because, at the end of the day, we're not together. We haven't been together for 10 years, and now I can finally say I'm not emotionally invested in her anymore. So why am I going to let you push my buttons if I have no emotions for you? And when I had that epiphany, it just made me realize that with just life in general, like with everybody and everything. So, and I think a lot of us, if we, and that's not to say become cold hearted, but I think if a lot of us kind of lived our life like that, then we'll be a lot less stressful, in my opinion, anyway. Pharaoh been on his downslide when he started beefing with people that look he used to have back then was like, I'm the man. You can leave the streets, but have a street mentality. People have made those allegations way back. What Conan explained the face tattoo on the gaunt look in his face. Cloning is how the Europeans came about what created them from albino and from other animals. I've heard about that. Now, like, I'm not too in depth in researching it, so I'm not going to sit here and try to elaborate on it like and make myself look stupid. But I've Mark, I've heard about that. You gotta maybe come by and tell me a little bit more, and maybe I can do some research and we can talk about this stuff. Lorraine said he seems to have been in way over his head. Yeah, is real, but one has to be able to hear. Yes, Lorraine. Damn, Lorraine, you on the money tonight, girl. Um, he has been way over his head. You know, I've like I said, I've been watching him for a while, and he always, even before all this publicly, crazy sounding type stuff, he always kind of been too overzealous and kind of boasted himself up so much, talk about how he is doing this and how nobody's on his level doing this and that and that sort and that sort. So, I do agree with that, and I think now that he's like really, as far as how he will put it at the top, I think that he got way in over his head, and he felt like he couldn't be touched. He's seeing so much money. He's seeing 7 digits, 8 digits. Stuff that he probably never thought, like 10 years ago, he probably never thought he'd see before. He went from Buffalo, New York, to living down there in Texas. Probably from being a weirdo dude to not. Because look how he sound and look how he looked back in the day. This is not a knock. It's not a diss. But he seemed like he didn't really get girls back in the day, especially how the way he started off, how the way he looked, his mannerisms, the way he dressed, his hair, it was short and all that stuff. Like he evolved, he changed. So with that evolution in money and stuff, and now the finances and everything, and now he can probably get, or so much potential women flocking to him. It changes a person, and that's understandable. That's not just him, that's everybody. But that's not to give him any points about it. That's not to say that that's okay, because it's not. It's just that's what happens when you go from nothing to something. In most cases, Chi-Town says, I was disappointed to see him indulge in all the wretched things he spoke against. His ego has a dark energy attached to it. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, he indulged in all the stuff that he used to talk against, and now he doing it. And like I said, money changes people, or money show people true characters. Maybe all that stuff was just maybe he a good actor. A lot of times you find out that a lot of times that people are good actors and actresses, and then once they reach that pinnacle that they hope for or dream for, then they start to show they show their behinds, and they give their behinds the kiss. And maybe this is it right here. Maybe all that stuff was always a part of him. As far as the teaching and stuff, maybe you know he believed it, but maybe all this stuff now was still always a part of him too. But he couldn't show it because he wasn't at the level where he wanted to be at. So had he showed it then, with all the stuff he was saying, he knew that people was going to say something because they're like, well, how are you going to say this and you're doing that? It's contradictory. You're full of S. But now he probably at the point where he don't care anymore because he reached that point. I've said before several times, young Pharaoh, he's at the point now where he's always going to be able to make money because of his name. Y'all see that y'all witness he got all his channels deleted, yet he makes several other channels and he can automatically get monetized. It's kind of like a Tommy Sotomayor. His main pages get deleted, but because he is Tommy Sotomayor, he'll make another page, and if someone see that it's Tommy Sotomayor, they're going to subscribe. And then next thing you know, within days, they got thousands of subscribers because they already had the name, the notoriety, and that's young Pharaoh. He's at that level. So, um, shoot, Hassan Campbell too. Love him or hate him, he's at that level. He can get his channel can get deleted, but he can make another channel and just have his name on there, like Hassan Campbell 2.0, and all his prior subscribers is gonna go back to following him. So it's this is the reality of someone with notoriety or fame. What happened to Robert Still? That's why he probably worried about the government. What happened to Robert Still? Please, Earth White House spiritual way. Do tell. Let me know, cause I heard that name Robert Still before, and it's drawing a blank. When he got money, he tried to stunt and flex on everybody instead of teaching. Yes, he did, and I made a video about that months ago. Like when he was in the pool, just stunting and saying that how he was going to start, you know, shit on all the haters and start. He said he's going to start smashing his haters' girls, and he was rocking the jewelry in his mouth. Like he don't really do stuff like that. Now he doing all that stuff. Like so, I've seen it like when he first moved. When he first moved like 2 or 3 months ago when he moved out there. I started realizing I started saying that stuff too. Nikki Blaine added Chi-Town says, "Me too. I thought he was much more grounded and had a more stable foundation." Yeah, well, like I said, y'all gonna realize that a lot of people are great at hiding who they really are from you or whatever. Um, it just what it is. And the crazy part about that is I get a lot of hate because people tell me I'm too blunt or I'm too stern or whatever. When I was years ago, I used to work at this I used to work at this catering company, and they used to send me to this hotel where I was cooking. I was like it's like a 4-star hotel, and they used to have like brunch on weekends, and I was there on the weekends cooking, made good money or whatever. We used to have to like dressed up in a barista suits, all this stuff, and but they used to want you to sit there and just stand there and smile all the time. I guess I didn't do that enough, so they let me go. And they said because I didn't, and I asked why. It's because they said the guests didn't feel comfortable around you because you didn't smile enough. You know, and I'm like, but that's just me. I can't. Smile, because the point of me saying is I feel fake. Now I'm the fake when I'm constantly trying to smile or be uppity. And I noticed that on some of my videos when I'm kind of more uptone and trying to be more uppity, like it's not authentic. It's not real. And I think people probably caught on to it, and that's why people wasn't really watching my content or subscribing and stuff. And I figured, well, shoot, well, people don't like me being a real me, but I was watching O'Shea Duke Jackson. He was talking about how Kevin Samuels, how he revamped himself, because I used to watch it too. How if you watch Kevin Samuels' old videos, how he was all uppity and corny and talking about how to create or what's the best cologne to wear for men, and it just didn't look real. It didn't look authentic. Now you fast forward, he more somber, cool. He might be blunt, he might be direct, but that's why he got over 1 million subscribers now. Because although people may not like his delivery, but you can see his authenticity. You can see how real he is. It's not fake. This is him. So I say all that to say that like this is me right here. This is like it or not. you know, uh, People may hate my delivery. They may hate the way I talk. They may hate the way I be nonchalant, because I get that a lot too. People hate that I'm so nonchalant about stuff that I may not show emotions on or react to certain things whereas though they feel I should have reacted to, and I'm just so calm and cool about it that they think they might think, oh, I'm too good or something. It's like, no, it's just when you live a certain type of life, it just molds you a certain type of way. It's not to say that I'm cold hearted. I might be a borderline cold, but like I told you, like my dad was a little hard. My mom, I had a hard mom too. But my dad, God rest his soul, was straight and direct. So I think I got a lot of that stuff from him. But I think just being authentic is key. So when you watch these guys, when you watch Young Pharaoh, when you watch Brother Polite, when you watch all these people, watch their lectures, right? Watch their lectures, watch their teachings and stuff, and then if you can try to find a video or something where they're just talking to their friends, or they can be like someone recording them from a side where they don't know that they're really on camera, and like you can see how they really are. Maybe they might be cursing 4 or 5 times in maybe like 2 sentences, versus if when they talking in a lecture or trying to teach, they're not really saying something, or they mannerism. Like, it's the way you are is sort of going to be the way you teach. Now you might polish it up a little bit, but it's not going to be a whole lot of big difference. The only real change is if you're not really being real, if you're not being authentic. So I'm saying all that to say, if a lot of y'all don't want to be scammed anymore, if a lot of y'all want to start seeing the real people and pay attention, even like shoot, even me, pay attention, just watch stuff, because people are going to start showing you, and people either going to show you they're either consistent, or they're going to show you that they're full of shit. That's what it is. You couldn't be fake, and that's what's up. Thank you. Yeah, I can't. You a Capricorn? Shot-town asking my Capricorn. No, I'm a Gemini. May 22nd, Gemini. You know what's so crazy? I just said that last night in my live stream last night, because someone asked about my sign last night. And I'm not sure if you're the same person that asked. But personally, I don't believe in that sign stuff. Like I only know mines, and that's just Gemini. Like I don't know really the other signs, Capricorn. I don't even really know all the names because I really don't pay attention to that stuff. Like I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I believe in the devil. I believe in angels. I believe in demonic entities. All that other stuff is just folklore to me. I don't like reading the stars and all that stuff is sort of the same as believing in Zeus and Hercules and all that stuff to me. Like it's, and we can agree to disagree. I just personally I don't believe that stuff because, like I said last night in my live stream, when someone asked me what my sign was, then I'm gonna tell you, like I said to them, um, I hear that all these signs got different meanings, and we're depending on our sign, we're supposed to have those traits, those characteristics. But when I hear the traits and the characteristics from all, like when I hear a characteristic of a Leo, I'd be like, well, damn, that sounds like me sometimes. When I hear the characteristics of an Aquarius, I'd be like, well, damn, sometimes I might feel like that. And vice versa. It can be other people. So I think on any given day, all of us can have those characteristics and traits of these so quote unquote signs that we're supposed to be. So I personally don't take them for face value. It just is what it is. Caps usually have that energy. Ah, see, you said caps usually have that energy, and I'm a Gemini, so that goes. You prove my point. Marcus says, "Watch people actions and mannerisms. Don't just listen to what they say." Exactly. I think I said that if I didn't make myself clear about that when I was explaining that. Yeah, you can't just listen. You got to watch, pay attention. You know, when I say pay attention, that includes everything. It's not just listening. You got to pay attention, watch everything. But you, Marcus, you definitely right. Lorraine says Kevin and O'Shea are a problem, same as Cynthia. You mean Cynthia? You talking about Cynthia J? Cynthia G be tripping. Kevin and O'Shea. Well, we can agree to disagree with that. Now, I don't agree with everything Kevin and O'Shea does and says. I've said that earlier. I definitely don't. But on the grand scheme of things, I agree on most times anyway, but not all, not all. Robert Still, the CIA agent, died from COVID. Didn't he say it was a hoax? Yeah, I knew I heard that name before. You right, right. Hey, look, I'm not going to dive deep into that right now. But if he said it was a hoax, he probably was, but he died from it. So who knows? These YouTubers get paid for this division between the community. Lorraine says these YouTubers get paid for this division between the community. Well, I think I mean we that's debate because it depends on how you want to. It depends on how you view the content. If you view it as a divide tactic, then that's the point of your argument. And then what if someone says, well, it's not divide, it's a conversation starter for things that they might see that's going on between man and woman, and how in most cases in recent times men get the short end of the stick as far as marriage and a divorce and the court systems and all that stuff. And a lot of these guys and females, because I talk about that a lot on the channel too, because it's not just the men. If you go back and watch my videos, I post several videos, and there's a lot more females talking about this stuff too. So, so are they pick me's? Because like now I hear that when I hear females talking about this stuff, I hear other females calling them pick me's, which I think is crazy. Like, so now we're using shaming tactics. Like it shouldn't, but if you're talking about them, then you're basically the same person that you're talking about. Like it's a conversation. I just don't I don't be get I don't really get that stuff. Uh, but I understand I wasn't like that, but now recently I've come to the point that I understand that some people are hardcore in their beliefs, and that's okay because and I had to step back and understand that too because I'm hardcore in my beliefs too, and I can be pretty stubborn. Like if I believe something, no, I listen and I look at things with an open a heart and an open ear, but and I'm not listening just to respond. I'm actually listening because a lot of times when I did openly listen, then it did change my previous views on things. So I am open for discussion. I am open for change. But if I believe something that's I believe that's right, um, it's very little that you can say or do that's going to change my mind about it. So if I got to be fair with that, then I got to understand that somebody else might feel the exact same way. And like I say all the time, that's cool. Just because you believe in something that I don't believe in, and vice versa, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to not like you or you should not like me. Like, like I said, we shouldn't be the same. I just said this 20 minutes, 30 minutes ago about how everybody is just living this herd mentality and whatever happened to, individuality. Like, this is all in that same family. So we can always agree to disagree. I think that's uh how community and how we learn and grow from one another. So um so if you don't necessarily agree, that's fine. At Marcus says now, oh Nikki Blaine at Marcus. Now I have to go down this rabbit hole on this one. My tin cap is tingling. We will think I show you. So let me see what else. Oh snap! Someone says, Araya said it's so many pedophiles that be on Sinetta TV. If I told you, you would be shocked. Is that true? Do Sinetta be having uh pedophiles on his platform? Please let me know. I really don't watch a whole lot of Sinetta, hence why I don't make a lot of content. Um, revolving around him. I more so make content of his proteges and stuff. But I think that's going to change. You know, like I said, it's all about develop and evolution and growing. And sometimes it's not really about what I'm learning anyway. It's not necessarily about just making content that you want to always put out. Sometimes you gotta put certain things out that you don't normally do or whatever. And I mean, like it's all in the same category. So I just never really just don't really watch Sonetta too much, other than the recent week or so with the whole brother polite thing, because a bunch of other people was talking about him. Like I said, I've been new about Sonetta, but I just don't really watch them. But for me to do my due diligence, I had to do my due diligence on my brother polite stuff. So I had to watch his stuff, and I had to see what he was talking about, what he was doing as far as defending brother polite. But on a regular, no, I don't watch Sonata, so I wouldn't have known that he bring a bunch of pedals and stuff on his show regularly. But I mean, like I said, he got polite on there, and he's also alleged to have done things back in the day, and his teacher was also alleged to openly admit that he likes doing stuff. So um when you got those variables, it's like, is it too far fetched to believe? So, but that's crazy. Mm. Oh, but yeah, that whole young pharaoh stuff and brother polite and Sanetta and all these conscious guys, uh, it's like the truth is coming to the light with these guys, and they all being exposed for being scam artists, for being, you know, pedophiles, and allegedly for, you know, being addicts, allegedly for misleading the people, just doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff in the guise in the name of you know, trying to teach the black people, trying to betterment of black development. You know, y'all get what I'm trying to say. So, like, if y'all noticed, it just seemed like these last couple years, there's been like it's like we're living in the era of exposés. You know, we're explosion. You know, everybody is getting, exposed. You know, it's like one day you got this, and the next week you got that, and who's gonna be who they're gonna talk about in the following week. So, shoot, it's what it's about to be September, or probably it is September the first. So let's see who we gonna hear about in the next couple of weeks. Let's see who we hear about in this month, September, or next month. Because I'm sure before the year is out, I can almost guarantee you before the year is out, we're gonna hear about at least one or two more people um about this type of stuff. So mark my words. Oh, yeah, mark my words. We're gonna hear this stuff come out in the next month or so. The hospitals get paid when they say you died for that thing. I got a friend who brother died from a motorcycle accident, but his death certificate says the C virus. His family is upset. Yeah, yeah. Sadly, I've known about 2 to 4 people last year. Well, last year in the beginning of this year, who died from complications of other things, but they wrote it down as the sea bug. So I've heard that they you get the hospitals get paid if they write down each person who died from that allegedly. They get like thousands, tens of thousands of dollars or something like that. So can you imagine if one hospital said about 200 people died from that, or 100, shoot, not even 100 people, 50, like so. Um, and then like a lot of those people probably didn't have insurance anyway, so they figured they getting paid uh like quadruple on the back end because now they getting paid for the insurance they didn't get paid for and all that. So it's like but like I said, you got to tread lightly on these topics because these platforms is all the way Brazil. He said we are living in strange times. Yeah, we are. Strange times. Very strange. Oh, the flu don't matter when they pushing an agenda to scare people. Yeah, eat well and keep your immune system up. I say that to people all the time now because they gonna try to give you that. They gonna try to give you the what's the name? Like every time I go to get a checkup and stuff, I'm about to get surgery. I'm always back and forth in the hospital like every week, and I'll be having to see different specialists for different things and stuff. Cause I got different things going on with me. So I'm always hearing that question: Have you got have you got your flu? Do you want it? I tell them no. you know, like it gets to the point where I feel like I gotta about to start lying to them because I feel like they're gonna try to give it to me anyway. So it's like maybe I need to start lying to people and say that I got it so they can leave me alone. Um, but you know, Nikki Blaine says at Lorraine, I've gotten very serious about my diet and exercise regimen. As you should, young lady, as you should, because one thing's for sure, two things for certain. Like Lorraine said, these are strange times that we're living in. These could be biblical times that we're living in, and I think fitness and health is going to play a major role. A major is going to be key factor in coming days, or just on the grand scale. I think our health, our fitness level is going to play a major role, and depend on where we at, as far as those levels, can either be work for us or work against us. So that's what I think. Marcus said, "Be careful; they might try to inject you." That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, I had knee surgery first this year. On my left knee, which I felt like they probably ain't really do a good job at it. But and before I had the surgery, they asked me the questions and stuff then, and I was truthful for them. They asked me that I get and I said no, I ain't take it. They said, "Do you want to take it?" No, I'm good. And I'm like, damn, but these dudes about to put me to sleep though. Like, what if they give it to me and I don't even know? So, like, that always crept up in the back of my head, crept in the back of my mind. And I still think about this stuff now. Like when they be asking me about the flu and all that stuff, the other stuff that you're supposed to take yearly. And like I'm about to start fibbing on these dudes. For real. Next appointment I'm going to, I'm lying. For real. Like, cause I feel like they closing in on me. Like I do. I feel like it's just a matter of time. They're like, all right, we about to they about to put me to sleep again soon too. So I feel like, all right, we about to get you. Um, so that's just the way I think. But I could be just paranoid. Yeah, tread lightly. Exactly. Exactly. It's all about treading lightly. If you were wise, then you will live your life like you're walking on thin ice. I don't think that we should never let ourselves go freely. As far as like comfortability, I think we should always have that little bit of unbalance. I'm about to show my age. Take it back a little bit old school. Be like Angel. Remember the show Buffy and with her boyfriend Angel. Remember he had the soul, and when he felt true happiness, i.e. sex, he loses his soul and he turned back evil again and jealous. And he left her show on season 3 and went to LA and he had his own show. See, I'm a big geek. I grew up watching that stuff. Like I grew up watching Buffy, Charmed, the original show Roswell, Angel, stuff like that. So I mean, but um, I bring up Angel to say, uh, how Angel, because he knew that if he had a true moment of happiness, he was going to lose his soul and become evil. So he always let himself brood a little bit, or he just never let himself get too comfortable, too easy, because and I think they was using that as a metaphor, as an allegory of just just never letting yourself being too comfortable because things can unravel. And that's kind of how I live my life, just because I've noticed every time I've got too comfortable, things unravel. So I just have that little bit of uneasy on me, just that little bit of worriness, just because it keeps me level headed, it keeps me balanced, it keeps me focused on the next goal, the next point. Because when I'm too comfortable, I'm not as ambitious. But I think that's kind of the point where I'm getting at. Stay paranoid. Yeah, stay paranoid, right? I didn't even see that. They the Pharrell with Cam Newton. No, notice he didn't get the read thing. No, yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, I gotta look at that. That might thank you, Marcus. You might give me a topic of a video. Yeah, and that's crazy, right? Because like with this new variant stuff, you can still it's like everything that's going on is redundant. Like it's redundant to even take the you know what, because you can still catch it or still get so it's like what's the point? Like I didn't get I don't never get you know so crazy like all right at one point up until like maybe a month or so ago I was saying that this whole year and a half you can count maybe on 10 hands how many times I wore a mask. But now it's a little more now because I've been wearing because they've been forcing me to wear it more when I've been going to the hospitals and stuff. So maybe in this last year and 8 9 months or so, I probably wore the mask probably about 25 30 times max. like like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't really wear that stuff, and I'm around people. You know, I'm around people who quote unquote supposed to have caught it but don't got it no more. Stuff like that. Like I've never, I've never, you know, and I barely wear, you know. So it's like, why would I take a, you know, like my faith sustains me, you know. So that's all. Wow. So when they cut him because of that, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, thank you, Marcus. You gave me a topic for a video. of course I gotta do my research on it yet. I probably won't do it until maybe tomorrow late or the next day because I got a few other things that I have to make first. But I'm definitely gonna look into this whole Cam Newton situation and cutting players because they didn't want to get that. That's right up my alley. That's because that's bigger than just Cam. That's deep. That's big. And while we on that, y'all, have y'all heard that if you don't got it soon, you probably won't be able to leave your prospective area. So if you're living in Philadelphia, like me, you're gonna be able to catch a plane to Florida. If you ain't got it, if you live in Texas, you won't be able to go this place because you ain't got it. If you ain't got it, you ain't gonna be travel to like you're not gonna be able to do anything. You're not gonna be able to buy or sell or trade. Like, does that stuff sound familiar to you? If you don't got the what's the name, you're not gonna be able to buy, sell, or trade. Where have you heard that before? Someone tell me in the comment section. Tell me this word something like that sound familiar to you. If you haven't got such and such, you're not going to be able to buy, sell, or trade or travel. Well, y'all heard that before. What that sound like to you? Let me know. Where you heard it from? God Mode Gaming got it right. Right. God Mode Gaming. We right here with it. Me and you. like and it's like nobody not catching on to this. Nobody not peeping. Like is it too much of a coincidence? Is it so unbelievable where people be like that can't possibly because this is it's too you know how the mind works, you know how people are, and they like you can't possibly because of it's too much story, it's too much movies been about it, it's too much seen on cartoons. So when we see it on TV and stuff so much, it makes it unbelievable. When we hear it in stories and stuff so much, it makes it fairy tale. And I think a lot of people, if you shoot, I can't really say that because when I talk to a lot of people, what I've realized, a lot of people are atheists. A lot of people just are the atheists, and or a lot of people say they believe, but then their actions show you that they clearly don't, or it's just maybe they're just being phony or fake or something. But because it boggles me, like for example, like God mode gaming, you said the Bible. That's what's up, because that's what I was talking about. Now, me and you clearly see that. Now, do you realize how small, fragmented of the minority that me and you are? Because we see this, right? And let's just say everybody on my feed see it. Let's just say all my subscribers see it. Let's say 50,000 people see it, right? Shoot, I go more than that. Let's say 1 million people see it. That's a big number, right? 1 million. We all agree 1 million is a big number, right? 1 million. That's seven figures. 1 million. That's a big number. So let's say 1 million people see it, right? Still about 8 billion people on this on this planet. So you take that million and you add it to that 7 point something billion. That million is still a small fragmented number compared to the overall grand scheme of things. So that's what I mean about this stuff. Like we see this stuff, but it don't because I be wondering. I'm like, if you watched, like I grew up on Christian movies and watched reading the Bible and what all this stuff. So like I recognize things, and I know a lot of other people do it too. So it used to like it still does now, but it used to like really bother me why nobody can recognize the stuff and see the BS that's going on. But I had to take a step back and realize that regardless of how many people I think know what's going on, how many people I think should see, the Bible even clearly says that it's still going to be billions of other people who is going to be oblivious to it. It's going to be ignorant to it, and that's what we're witnessing. We're just witnessing ignorance. You know, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes it's a little scary. It's a little scary feeling like you're the only person who know what's going on, or feeling like you're the only person in the physical, rather. Because if you believe all this stuff, then you should clearly believe in God and Christ and know that He's in control. But um, if you believe in all this stuff, then you see that a lot of people was not really paying attention to it, or if you're trying to talk to people about it and they're trying to, dismiss you, or call you a conspiracy theory, or you crazy this or that, and it's like, well, darn, am I the only one who see what's going on? So it can get a little scary. It's a little discouraging, all that stuff. But uh, we got to understand that that big guy's in control, and um, if you truly are a believer, and if you truly believe that we are, because I'm giving you what kind of sustains me. That's why I'm trying to talk slowly so I can break it down, because this is what helps me out when I start getting into my paranoia. Um, so if you truly are a believer, and if you truly believe that we are living or entering in the times of the tribulation and the rapture and all that stuff, and the times of the beginning of the antichrist and the mark of the beast, all that stuff, um, then then we should be the ones. Then you should believe that you're the one who possibly be caught up in the air with the Lord in the rapture. You know, if you're a lot like he said in the Bible verse, you know, there'll be what it said in Matthew on trying to remember verbatim. Those well, like when the Lord comes back, he will take the ones who's lying dead still in wormy earth, and for those who still alive shall be caught up in the air with them, and shall all live so happily ever after uh, with the Lord. Um, I'm paraphrasing, but basically saying that, you know, if you believe that this is the time now, then, and if you're a true believer, then don't fret, don't worry, because you will be saved, and uh, all children of the world, those who are not past the age of accountability, will all be safe too. Someone might say, "Well, Lynch, what are you talking about? The age of accountability?" Well, it is stated that, you know, when the Lord comes back, all children who are below the age of accountability will be taken. So, children, because they're so innocent, because they're still innocent in God's eye, you know, they're automatically forgiven and taken. You know, as long as they're young enough or whatever, or just that age of accountability where he deems of that. Now, they don't necessarily say the age, so I can't sit here and say, well, it's 13 or 12 or 14. So I don't know. I'm not even going to pretend to know. It just says below the age of accountability. Um, so that's that. Prayerfully, you know, if it is now, it would be me and all my daughters. But if I'm being realistically, I think I'm gonna be left behind like Kirk Cameron in the movies Left Behind. Have y'all watched them Left Behind series? They came out in the '90s. The Christian movies Left Behind with Kirk Cameron. It was Left Behind. It was three of them: Left Behind Two, and Left Behind Three. They remade it with Nicolas Cage back like in 2014, but it was corny. But the original Left Behind movies, you can actually find them here on YouTube. Sometimes when I'm bored, I watch those movies. Um, and not even just Left Behind, but I like Christian movies because um, not all Christian movies, but I like Christian movies talking about like the rapture and the end of like the rise of the Antichrist and all that stuff. Because they all like all production companies that make these films, they make them differently, but they all kind of make them based the same thing. You know, the disappearance, millions of people around the world disappear. You know, the rise of the Antichrist. People are, you know, crying, scared because millions of people vanish. All children in the world vanish, and the antichrist come as Messiah and take over the world, blah blah, blah, and make everybody take the mark of the beast. And for those who don't, they hunt it down and all that stuff. Like, they're good movies, and I've been watching the movies since the late 90s. And the crazy part about it is, seeing like a lot of stuff does happen in those movies is going to take place sooner or later. Now, here now, you write them down so you can have it. Maybe you can watch it on your own free time. But the movies are called Left Behind. And they're all free here on YouTube. You can just type in Left Behind full movie, and it'll come up. It's Left Behind. Part 2 is called Left Behind 2 Tribulation Force, and part 3 is called Left Behind 3 World at War. That's what I forget the black guy in there, Lou Gossett Jr. He in there, the old black guy that used to act back in the 90s. But not even just those movies, but another two Christian movies called The Moment After and The Moment After 2. Like, these are like from Clyde, I think it was Cloud 10 Pictures Productions. But then you got the Apocalypse films. Is the first one is Apocalypse Caught in the Eye of the Storm, Apocalypse Tribulation, Apocalypse Revelation, Apocalypse Judgment. It's all like based on the same things. And the reason why I'm bringing all this stuff up is, if y'all haven't heard of them, or if you have seen them and all that stuff, these are real good educational movies. Because even if you're not a Christian, even if you don't believe in Christianity and all that stuff, it's not really about that. If you watch these movies and you watch the premises of these movies, and then you watch today's society, especially from last year up until now, and then the projection of the future on where they trying to go with technology and how they trying to have us and have, go away of the dollar. Like, they trying to get away with paper dollar and have digital money currency. Y'all would see that all this stuff co-aligns. And that's why I say watch these movies, because this stuff gets deep. It gets real deep. No, Lorraine says not all interpret rapture properly. Properly, many people think differently about what it means. I know that because some people think of, the rapture pre tribulation rapture, or post tribulation rapture. So there is that argument. I know that for a fact. Like, so let me make that disclaimer now. But rather it be pre or post, that's not what I'm talking about, because none of that stuff really matters. What matters is the overall grand scheme, because rather it happens pre or post, if because you got the difference in different groups of people believing it, but they all believe in the same core value of it, that is going to happen, and that the tribulation will happen, the rapture will happen, the mark of the beast and all that stuff will happen. So that's where this conversation comes in at. I really don't care about who's right or wrong. That's not my argument. But if you believe in that stuff, then you got to know that this stuff can possibly be. Nikki Blaine said Left Behind was like the nightmare on Elm Street of my childhood. Oh, so you seen it? You seen Left Behind? With Kirk Cameron? It was and I like the I'm always a person who liked the bad guys in a movie. And of course the bad guys on that movie was the Antichrist. I like the Antichrist on the Left Behind movies because more so his name, Nikolai Carpathia. I don't know why, but that's a powerful, that's a sick name. You know, my real name is Nyrone. So I've always said if I had a son, I don't know if I want to name him Nyrone or Nikolai. 'Cause I just like that name. But Marcus said they can't get the one world currency until they get control of the money system in the three countries that they don't have yet. Those are North Korea, Cuba, and Iran. Well, yes, you're 100% right. But, and this is only if you believe in this stuff about the rapture and all that stuff, and the Bible, and the Antichrist. If you believe in God, you believe in the Bible, then you gotta believe in evil. If you believe in evil, you gotta believe in good. You believe in good, you gotta believe in evil. Like if there's no if ands or buts about it. Like I can't believe in one and not believe in the other. There's always a balance. You know, there's a give and a take. So to answer your question, Marcus, or to not answer your question, but to piggyback off of it, um, you're 100% right about that. But when we're talking about the end of the world, like because that's basically when we talk about the tribulation and the rapture and all that stuff, we're basically talking about the end of the world. Like let's be fair. That's exactly what it is. It's the end of the world, you know, as we know it. You know, because it's going to be the 7 years of false peace under the guise of the Antichrist and all that stuff. The Antichrist is supposed to be, you know, the embodiment of Satan here on Earth or whatever, with supernatural powers beyond the understanding of what we know. So when that person comes along, if they got all this type of power, do you think that it's going to be hard to get North Korea, Cuba, and Iran? I'm willing to bet that once this person, who this Antichrist, reveal himself, just like it says in the Bible, the world is going to fall at his feet. The world is going to worship him as God. So it's not going to take no effort from this Antichrist to get North Korea, Cuba, or Iran. Like they can be the hardest gangsters countries in the world. When it comes to the Antichrist, they're going to be a bunch of simps. That's just what it is. Oh, you talking about the original Left Behind? You know, so I seen that. Well, I haven't watched it because it wasn't my thing because it was too old school. But I do know of it. Now, one of my older movies, as far as like that stuff I used to watch was The Seventh Sign with Demi Moore and The Omega Code. Uh, that's kind of like old school Christian movies as far as like I go back. Um, I didn't watch the original Left Behind. I only watched the one from the '90s. And I watched the remake of that in 2014 with Nicolas Cage. But yeah, yeah. But Marcus, yeah, when the Antichrist come in, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, I don't care what type of reputation precedes them right now. When that person comes to take over, they're going to be putty in his hands, just like all the kings of the world, all the presidents, all the sultans, all the rich men, and everyone. They ought to be all putties in his hand, as it was foretold. Yeah, I know. Nikki, it's on YouTube. The original Left Behind, I think it's on YouTube. Like I said, I just never watched them. But have you watched the Apocalypse series? It's the first one, which was kind of like low budget because it was like camera John, handheld camera filmed. It's called Apocalypse: Caught in the Eye of the Storm. But then they made three more after that, and it was kind of following the girl, the TV reporter Helen Hanna, who was trying to take down um the Antichrist on that movie. Who in the Left Behind movies, the Antichrist was called Nikolai Carpathia, but in the Apocalypse movies, the Antichrist was called Franco Macaluso. Like all these power, you notice they always got like strong, powerful names, and yeah, it was Apocalypse Caught in the Eye of the Storm. I think the second one was called Apocalypse Revelation. Then it was Apocalypse Tribulation, and then Apocalypse. The last one was Judgment. But they were all good Christian movies too, based on the same type of analogy. Disappearances, millions of people around the world, everybody not knowing what's going on. The Antichrist rise up, lied to everybody, said that he did it. He made the people disappear because they were bad people or whatever. And he revealed himself as God, and everybody worshipped him. And then he made everybody, take the mark of the beast. Um, Good stuff. You know what's so crazy about that, Nikki? I asked that same question. Do you think the Antichrist has been born yet? Uh, Tell you what. Look at the world we living in right now today. Uh, Look at how it was 5 years ago and how it is now. Look what happened in January 6th in DC. Um, that's my answer. That's my answer. I think I think shoot, not only has he been born yet, I think he's been here for several decades already, and he's already influencing people right now. I think he's already in politics or in corporate stuff, and got his hands dabbled in stuff yet. Has he fully taken over stuff as we see, as we can, far as we can tell, no. But has he been born yet? Yeah, I think so. I think he been born. He's been born. I think he's been around and plotting and scheming for some time now. And I think soon, real soon, maybe by the year 2030, Agenda 2030, I think we might see for sure. Your mom was a smart woman, Nikki. Very smart woman. I try to make my daughters watch it. Um, I'm not consistent at it. I probably can be a little bit more consistent. I probably will be a little more better at it. But yeah, I think your mom was very wise and smart making you watch those movies because shoot, they helped me. They helped me out a lot. Yeah. something that I've been telling myself that I need to start going back to church. Just getting better at stuff. But and this I know this is going to sound so corny. I know it is because I hear myself saying it before I even say it. That's how I know. But you know that old saying, they say church is in the heart and all that stuff. Like, for those who just joining me, new to this channel, I've talked several times on how I came to, you know, being a person of faith or whatever, being a person of God. It happened when I was a kid, when I was about 5 or 6 years old, growing up in the projects in North Philly, watching cartoons on Saturday. Ironically, like if y'all remember Saturday morning cartoons in the early '90s, you remember that cartoons used to come on from about, I think, six, starting off like 6:30 in the morning, and every half an hour a new cartoon or a new show will come on up until noon, because this was weekends, and then at noon, then the sports and stuff start coming on regular TV. I'm not talking about cable and all that stuff. I'm talking about channel 3, 6, 10, 12, 17, 29, 57, stuff like that. So I used to wake up faithfully every Saturday at 6 o'clock so I can watch every cartoon. And at noon, like clockwork, all the cartoons would go off. So because I'm living in the projects, and I didn't even know nothing about cable back then. I'm just watching regular TV. I'm flicking through the channels, trying to find more cartoons. So if anybody know about channel 48, it's the TBN channel, the Bible network. So if y'all know, on Saturday mornings at 11:30, 12 o'clock, they start playing those Christian cartoons from back in the 90s, the Jesus Jones. It wasn't X-Men, it wasn't Spider-Man, it wasn't Batman Adventures, but it was a cartoon. I'm like, all right, let me watch this, see what this is about. So I started watching them. Then I see that they crucifying a man, and well, first I see him going around like doing good deeds and stuff, healing people and feeding people, multitudes of people with like 4 fish and bread and all that stuff, and healing the blind, bringing the deaf back to life. Then all of a sudden I see people like beating them and hanging them and all that stuff, and I remember sitting there crying watching it. Mind you, I'm about 5, 6 years old. I'm sitting there crying in a chair, and I'm trying to be quiet, like I'm trying to cry under my breath. And my grandma walked in the room. And she see me. She walked. I was in the living room. She walked in the living room. She seen me, and she like, "Boy, why are you crying?" She's like, "You crying?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "What I say?" I said because they killing that man, and he didn't do anything wrong. All he doing is trying to help people. And she was like, "Do you know who that is?" And I said, "No." And she told me who he was. Now, I'm living in projects. I'm in there, but my grandma and them, they didn't go to church, and we had a church right behind our building. None of my family, they didn't go to church, but yeah, I think all of us know of Jesus Christ and stuff. So she told me and all that stuff. So it went off, and then next Saturday I started watching it again, more and more. And then in the summertime, they start, like, the people of the church behind my building, they start coming around the buildings and getting us to come. They like, well, we having like vacation Bible school for the children and stuff, and it's free. So I wanted to learn more. So I started going to church, and I did that, and that was my whole introduction into God, into Jesus. So to make a long story short, I didn't find God or Christ. He found me, to be honest with you. Like, it was. I tell people it was like preordained, and I tell people all the time, like, well, first let me make this disclaimer. Over the last 7, 8 years, maybe 10 years, I felt like I lost my purpose. I've been doing so much worldly stuff, that I've been feeling like I lost my purpose. But all my life, I've always felt that I'm on here for a reason. Like God is not going to let me go until I fulfill this particular mission that He got going for me. And this is not to say this is some grand scheme. It can be something. His purpose is just making a baby from somebody, or teaching someone something, or whatever. But whatever His mission is for me, it's not done yet. And I feel like He got something for me, and this is why He always protecting my dumb ass, because I'd be getting myself into some, well, I used to get myself in some crazy situations, and I just know if it wasn't for the grace of God looking after me, I don't know where I would be. So that's just how I look at it. So Saturday morning cartoons with a bomb. My patents were phone. Oh, my patents were phone constant. I actually sat on Jan's lap during a television broadcast when I was 4 years old. Really? So you know exactly what I'm talking about then. And you know exactly what cartoons I'm talking about then. Them cartoons was the bomb, right? I'm sure this is decent. How close to Area F? I ain't close to Area F. I'm from Blumberg Projects. But I'm not in the city no more anyway. I'm on the outskirts of the city. I didn't came up in the world. You know, I'm still basically in Philly, but I'm just like in a county area. But no, I ain't from I'm from Blumberg Projects. If you know anything about, you said Erie Avenue, so I'm assuming you know about North Philly. Then you should know Blumberg Projects. Then my guy, Nikki says, my son and I talked about it all the time. My son family believes that he is being groomed and is in his early 20s. He's referring to the Antichrist. Yeah, I think so too. I think so. Well, shoot, I don't know if he maybe in his early 20s or not. But as far as him being prepped, being groomed, I agree. I think that this is all preparation for him to come out. Like I said, if y'all been paying attention to this stuff for the last few years, you heard about Agenda 2020, which we seen, and if y'all been paying attention, we heard about Agenda 2030, which is in a few short years. So I think I believe by then, maybe before, but clearly by then, I think we're gonna know something. I tell you this. I tell you this way. Sad to say, I think we're gonna see it in our lifetime, like in our lifetime, like we're alive right now. I think we're gonna see it in our lifetime. Like my mom and she was thinking that maybe not in our lifetime. I'm like, Mom, there's so much stuff happening right here, right now. You think it's gonna wait another 50, 100 years? Like, think about it. Look what's happening right now. Just think about the world that's happening right now. You think that the end will take another? You think it would take another 50 to 100 years? Because that's the next generation. So, do you think it's going to take that long? I think about. I haven't even been here on this earth for 50 years, and the world has drastically changed. The world has drastically changed from 2001 up until now. That was only 20 years ago. That's crazy. I was 17 years old back then. It don't even feel that long ago. But the world has changed in 20 years. Crazy drastically. So, do you think it really needs another 20? You think it's really going to take another 20 years? I mean, it possibly could, but it it's just so rapid. Everything is just happening so fast, so rapid. I just don't see it. I think I think it's happening now. Glenn Smith Jr. said, "Yeah, we're in revolution. We're in revelations." I'm sorry. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I just think we didn't get to that part where he opened up the sixth seal yet. They used to always be my scariest part of Revelations. What was it? Revelations chapter what 6 verse 11. And lo as he uh and lo as when he opened the sixth seal, the moon became his sackcloth of blood, and the stars fell from the heavens, and the Um, earth was shaken by mighty winds, just as though it was been shaken through a fig tree. Like we like in the rocks and mountains and stuff. Well, the kings and presidents and every free man and every slave and everyone in the world told the mountains and the rocks to follow on us and hide us from he, the face who sitteth on the throne. Like we were not at that stage yet of revelations, but maybe like Revelations chapter 3, chapter 4, somewhere. We up in there somewhere. We definitely in Revelations. We way past Matthew and stuff. we we way beyond that. So yeah. Yes. They are. The prophecy Nikki says the prophecies are being fulfilled at a much more rapid rate. Right. Do you see it? They're being fulfilled crazy random. Like these these seals are unlocking real fast on us, real fast, and it makes me wonder. Like, have y'all been wondering why the government have been giving us free money the last few years, like the last year and a half, like how like they have? They've been giving people like who's on food stamps and stuff a bunch of like giving them thousands, like and giving them a bunch of money and stuff on if they got getting cash assistance. Why are they doing all this? Like, have y'all thought about this stuff? And then they doing all this, right? But yet, when you listen to and watch certain news mediums, you hear certain things where you talk about food shortages and already certain areas in certain parts of the world and even certain counties of America is already experiencing it. Yet they giving us in the cities all this money to buy food when there's not supposed to be enough food to go around. Like it is none of this stuff is not making sense. And then if you want to get bigger into it and deeper into it, have y'all noticed all these millionaires and billionaires are heavily invested in bunkers? Do y'all watch that stuff? Do y'all have y'all noticed that the bunker business in the last 2 3 years have been boom? Well, mainly like the last 10 years. But when you talk about rapid alarming rate, Nikki, um, the last 2 3 years, The bunking movement, the bunkers. If I wish I had the money, the resources to start a bunker business, because I would be a millionaire by now. You know, if I had like if I probably had like $200,000, $300,000 to start a small bunker business and meet a couple of them for a few people who I can just flip it and keep going, I'd be a millionaire by now, multi-millionaire, because anybody who can afford it right now are investing in bunkers and self-sustaining type of longevity living situations for them and their family. So it's like, and when I watch like the when I watch Larry Ellis, who's the was it Larry Ellis or Larry Hall? I think his name is Larry Hall. Um, he's the owner of the survival condo out in Kansas. And when I look at like the owner of Vivos, bunkers and all that stuff, they always saying that their clients are always like multi-millionaires and billionaires. And Larry Hall was saying, he was like, well, one thing that always gets in my mind is so many people calling me now that were backed up. And these are important people who's in politics, who's in high corporations, government, all that stuff. So they're in the know. So it's like, what do they know that we don't know? That they all of a sudden want bunkers. Like this is, and so when you hear people like that say stuff like that, it makes me, who's a average small guy, looking at the whole situation and then looking at everything as a broad, and then taking account of my belief and seeing everything and all these things and all, like we say, all these coincidences come into play. It all adds up into one big thing, and maybe this is all, like I always say, is all connected. So I don't know. Shoot, hey, Ron, if it's all in my head, bro, I will be happy. Real talk. Like if it was all in my head, that's not even a bad thing. You know, I won't even I'm not even gonna get offended by that, because shoot, I wish, you know, they are investing in bunkers and moving to and exploring other planets. Nikki says they are invested in bunkers and moving to and exploring other planets, aka Elon Musk. Yes, ma'am. Um, yes, but space explorations, you know, they doing big stuff. If y'all been paying attention, the Silicon Valley trillionaires, you know, they basically all own New Zealand. You know, like New Zealand has basically become the place to be if you're mega rich. Like you can't really live there. You if you're not who's who. Um, and New Zealand has become the bunker haven for the uber rich. You know, the government top officials. You know, they got Cheyenne Mountain Complex and other little secret stuff that we probably don't know about. Um, so it's like you gotta be super rich, you gotta be high official in politics, or you gotta be lucky. You know, just gotta be lucky or something. Cause seem like something going on. I don't know. Mm. All right, I'm gonna end this video right here. I did not know that we was on here for 3 hours and 9 minutes and counting. That's good. This is the longest live I think I've been on. I think I'm not 100% sure. I gotta check. Okay, Marcus says the Old Testament tells you there is a dome over us. In Genesis, the sun, moon, and stars were placed under the firmament to separate the waters from heaven from the waters on earth. I mean, that's a metaphorically speaking. So if you're going to take that as a metaphor and as an allegory, then that can be open interpretation to it's just an open interpretation that can mean various different things. So that's not necessarily saying that you're wrong or you're right. It's just open interpretation. You know, it's a metaphor and an allegory. So we are not on a globe. The world is flat. Okay. Well, on that note, I'm going to bed. But I appreciate y'all, and I'll let y'all the next one. Peace.